Hi, this is Mia. Like, Irish American. Oh my god, I totally forgot I was recording. I was just about to be bawling because of my little man friend. I felt like he was pushing me away. Shoot. It's time for me to. I gotta pause the movie. My higher power, guys. This is what it is. Happy St. Paddy's Day. I feel like with my higher power, I get into this I get into this not wanting to let my and some of the stuff sounds biblical, but it's not necessarily in the Bible. There's a verse that says, I believe it says, we memorize at church, the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And I'm all tangled up here. I had a cousin that was my dad's cousin. I hardly talked to this guy, but he put on Facebook once something about um, don't let your, and you heard this before, don't let your circumstance just determine your joy. He might not have said that, but he said something about your circumstance. Um, or I said I was not doing well because of my circumstances, and I didn't. People were complaining that I was spending all my YouTube, all of well, they could, if they watch my YouTube, they were spending all of my Facebook messages like, please pray for me. You know, I lost my job and I don't have food to feed my kids, and you can only go to the food bank 10 times a year, or something like that. Like, help me, pray for me that I can feed my kids. And people are like, you are, I'm not you are, I literally, I think it's this one. You are complaining about life and so negative all the time. And like, I'm not on Facebook now. I have an account. I don't even know if it's still open. They'd be like, you're being negative all the time. So for me, most of my texts or my messages or whatever you call them, posts would be me talking about um, putting up some, I wouldn't use memes, but you know what I mean? Something humorous, something fun, something funny. And that would be like most of what I would be talking about would be something just cute and silly. And then it'd be like, oh, it's sunny today, or happy Easter, have a great day. Just like no one would respond. Nobody would. And I might say something like an achievement, and nobody would respond. And I would respond. I would be the only one to respond to my own post. I'd be the only one to comment on my own post. And then when it was a struggle, I'd be sitting there biting my nails thinking I don't have any family or friends. And then I would be like, um, hey, like, please pray for me. You had other people ask for handouts. They got handouts. I had me not asking for handouts. And I ask once in a while when I'm desperate, and people would be like, oh my God, why would we help you? Or they'd be like, you come from a rich family. If I come from a rich family, why am I sitting in a homeless shelter with 2 toddlers by myself? No money from my family. No money from my ex-husband who's working. No child support. Even the bare minimum. I would still be in the shelter with the amount of money that I was supposed to. I don't know why I'm all tangled up right now. And I think it's time to take this off. It's like, I gotta put the other one back on. Oh shoot, it looks like it got tarnished. And I saw the Fred Meyer in the mall. It's a free jewelry cleaning inspection. I I'm gonna get this break. I gotta get a second. You know what? Let's put it back where they were a few minutes ago. Let's just stick it back there. And I had this lady. She was white, and she would be considered by the beauty standards. And she had been really like happy-go-lucky. Um, but she had a lot of money. She had a huge house that she owned. She had dogs, kids, boyfriends, all this stuff. Husbands. She had husbands and boyfriends at the same time. And she ended up like, and you get afraid to talk to people in a privileged class because the disparity is so great. The more you talk to them, the more you know the disparity is great. So the average, like, I knew this lady there's like, we're always going to be poor. This different lady. We're always going to be low income workers. We're always going to be. And that lady, she was blonde hair, blue eyes. And her husband was blonde hair, maybe reddish hair, blue eyes. He had a good job. And she was looking for a job. She didn't need to work, raising 2 kids. And she could have gone. She had a dog. She had a mom that helped, and her dad, mom and dad that helped a lot. I don't know about the other relatives. Helped with the kids a lot. She could have, and she had best friends that she hung out with regularly. She could have gone. Someone was talking about to get a medical assistant program. She could have gone to a medical assistance program and be making $25 to $35 an hour right now, with her husband's pay was not necessarily like corporate large CEO type money, but she could be living in the burbs right now. She had like, and what sucks is when I went to school to do stuff like this, I wouldn't get the jobs, and I wouldn't get promotions, and I wouldn't get paid the 35. I'd be paid 13 for the same job, and so that's where I'm coming from with that. I want to go get an orange really badly. Um, There's no guarantee, but I feel like some people, like me, try and try and try so hard and get to be a cook at Pizza Hut. And what sucks is all the jobs I applied to in the past that I didn't know somebody. If somebody didn't say, oh yeah, I know you, apply for this job and we're going to interview you, but you have to do it in order. You can't just show up and get paid. You have to do the steps, apply for the job, prove that you can work here. I have never gotten a job in Oregon from not knowing the people. Michigan, different story. Oregon is rough. They're talking about unemployment's low, blah, 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 blah. Most people that I know in my neighborhood are on welfare. And the people that I know from my meetings are retired. And the ones that aren't are um, they either have a husband that works and they work some and raise the kids and have blended families, so kids aren't always at home and all these different. And you have kids in normal schools, so you can work during the school day. Blah 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 blah. It's different and it's really different. And then you got people on welfare that are working under the table. So I wanted to talk about when Joyce Meyer talked about going into a job interview and you're sweating because you're um, nervous, and it's like you don't not go. You don't in the situation because um, you don't in the situation because you're scared. She just said, "Dude, afraid." So Joyce Meyer, and a lot of people said, "Dude, afraid." These people. I don't know if it's her or other people. I'd go to so many and those Christian motivational talks. I'd go to those big conferences with thousands and thousands of people, and I watched. I'd go all the time back in the day as much as I could. I was at school full time. It was really tricky actually, because I could only go to bits and pieces between classes and between children. And she's like, you were to have sweaty armpits, put on extra deodorant, do it afraid, and that I realized since online dating and being open to dating and meeting up with this guy, I told my friends that I was so sweaty and so nervous. It's the middle of winter. I'm rolling the window down all the way just because I'm nervous. I'm excited. I like it, but I was so afraid and so scared. And I felt good that someone wanted not only once, but twice, but three times they wanted to hang out with me in a row. And I was rolling the windows down in the middle of winter, like trying to unzip my coat so I wouldn't be a puddle of sweat. And I ended up um, I ended up just like I ended up just like I'm gonna start crying. Sometimes I just cry because I'm so happy. I ended up saying, God, as far as I know, I don't think I'm a lesbian, but I'm about to turn around and go home, and like I did when I was hanging out at gay bars. Forget about me. Like I like the guy, and I enjoyed our time together. I enjoyed an intelligent conversation with somebody that's an adult. I enjoy my kids' conversations, and there's also time. He's older than me, so then I learn stuff from time, from wisdom of age. And did I turn around? No. Did I put the window down and turn the heat down? Yes. Did I still hang out? Yes. And I was. I'm gonna go forward in the story and then backtrack. I went to People's Co-op today and I did yoga. I haven't done it in over 10 years. And I keep, I know in church they had said, in church they had said, um, be careful when you have an illness or a medical condition that you don't own up to it. Saying my cancer, my diabetes. I shared this before. My heart disease. And I brought up the Vietnam veteran who wore his hat. He was very, very proud of his veteran status and of his duty. And they're like, he's overdoing it. He can't go on just talking about the war all the time. It's 2000 something and probably Vietnam. And I respected that. I come from a military town where I grew up, and I respect his service. And that's it. That is his. identity, and that crap causes PTSD. And someone shared to me today, and she talked about being ex-Marine. Did she say Marine? And you could, you didn't think, you're like, there's something different about that lady. Something tough about her. Before she spoke, and then she said that. I said, oh, once in military, always in military. So it seems like it's not always true. Everyone's individual, but there's PTSD, and there's a strength that they get. Now, I live in Portland, and how many times a day do you see the VA truck going off, the van with the guys in the back? How many cars do you pull up at a parking lot? How many do you see a week? A van or a car? They've got their veteran status license plate. They got their hats in the back. They got their whatever branch they're in. They have their stuff in the front and their stickers and their, they got their caps. They got their vests. They got the whole 9 yards. And these guys, when they go out, they're baby boomers. They're 70-something years old. They're going out like that every day. If I wear my orange coat every day, and in the summer I have a different version of it, then that's my thing. If Mia has to wear this headband and these bobtails, or what are bobtails? That's my uniform. I gotta make sure I don't pocket dial somebody. And I was sitting in this morning so flaky, thinking about going, and I ordered the mat. It came like 2-3 weeks ago. Stunk. So of course I took the plastic off and put it down. I said, "Oh, always don't get rid of the box of plastic or the wrapper. You might have to return it." I was gonna say F that. I was gonna say that out loud. I put it outside in the hall area out here, and then I said, let's put this out downstairs with the fan on in the kitchen, on the linoleum or whatever, the plastic floor, and open the window up a little bit or whatever I did. So it's down there, and then my daughter's like, "Oh, please, I have a question for you. I want to do something." I was thinking, please don't cut out my yoga mat. Please don't. Like, oh, I just want to stretch. Oh, yes, yes. Give me all that, please. I was like, oh, shoot. I ordered one for myself, and I thought, oh, well, I should have asked if she wanted one. And I ended up, um, I ended up, like, God, I can't believe, all I did was take like a 10 to 12 week yoga class, and then I went into, I would say Kung Fu, Taekwondo again. I think did I take it twice? And then I did Aikido. I think I took Taekwondo for 2 years. I think I took yoga for one term. Taekwondo was it 3 to, I think it was 3 to 5 terms, and then I took Aikido a ridiculous amount, including summer, which I actually missed because I had a job. I don't know what happened. And I'm sitting there going to a meeting this morning. Okay, I'm gonna go to 6:30 meeting. No, I'm not gonna go. I got a message from someone from online dating that said, can you have kids or something? They've been trying to find someone to have kids, and my profile said I want to have kids. And I just read the top of the email that went to my email. I didn't go into the OkCupid to read it because I'm like, oh, I want to be with this other guy kind of thing who doesn't really want to deal with stuff like that. And I feel really scared about not wanting to do stuff. Like, I feel insecure and stuff. Someone called me insecure because I'm not certain if I'm liked. But anyways, I was flaky. So I'm like, go to the meeting. Turn their alarm off. I ain't going. Yesterday I already changed it. Like, nope, Saturday, forget it. I'll go tomorrow. Because I had been up till after 1 the day before. And so I told myself that I was not going to go. Then I looked at my phone and saw this email right on top. And I said, you need a meeting because you're going to sit and toss and turn. And it's going to be 6:15, 6:25. And you're going to wish you went to the meeting. And you're going to know it's Sunday and it's gonna be crowded, so you don't want to show up 15 minutes late. And um, Saturday, Sunday, did I say Sunday? Sunday, it's crowded. People don't work. It's crowded every day, but Saturday, Sunday, people had to give up chairs today, and people don't leave. That's what the week. And we ended up. I ended up saying, just get in the shower, get dressed, and I barely made it like 1 minute before it started. I was like, what the heck? Like, I felt that my alarm went off at 5:30. And I guess that only gives you half an hour. I'm thinking in my mind, 5:30, that is plenty of time. I was like, oh, I weighed in, I took a shower, put makeup on, did my hair, got dressed, blah, 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 blah. Got food, fed the animals. Oh my God. Bless America, it took me about 40. And then I had to walk down the street to my car. So I ended up thinking that I had yoga at 8:15. And it was actually 9:15. But during the week, it's at 9. So I'm talking to my friend, and it's 7:30. The meeting ends. 7:46. 7:50. But I'm like, oh my God, 7:56. I have to get my car. I'm so sorry. I gotta be there. I'm thinking I gotta. By the time I get my car and get it started and do the GPS, I am gonna have 15 minutes to get there, park, walk down the street, and get in. And I, I like, I did look at the clock. She drove off, and I rolled the window, and I was like, wait. It's only 8 o'clock. I don't have to leave till 8:30. But what do you do, especially when your house is between the two places? Go home. I talk to my daughter. We had a girl chit chat. She has a cold. Blah blah blah. And I ended up coming home for a few minutes. I don't even know. I don't even know if I had time to eat. And I just basically had to just say, okay, now I'm out again. 15, 20 minutes later. So I said that I'm actually going to be on time, and it's Sunday. Traffic shouldn't be bad. The Shamrock Run was today. So I drove by the Shamrock Run, and it was the lanes coming back home that were blocked. So thank God I didn't get stuck. And I thought to myself, God, I saw 5K and I saw something else, and I saw something miles, and I saw halfway there. I'm like, oh, overwhelmed. They were still setting up the flags. And I went to my office on Thursday or something, and I was looking, I was going behind OHSU, and I'm thinking, wow, there's 3 porta-johns every so often. Every, like, there's like little driveways you can park, and then you can walk the trails. And I'm thinking to myself, what's up with these porta-johns? And then I realized, I was like, that's so nice. They don't have bathrooms out here. I used to drop my kids off at school and go walking behind OHSU. It's a whole view of the city. You're up here and you see the whole city, and then Mount Hood is right there, and then you could also see somehow Mount Jefferson, I think, Mount Rainier, right now, Mount St. Helens. I don't know where I've seen Mount Adams, Mount Jefferson, and Mount Rainier. What? I don't even know where in there. I've seen those, but I was out camping. I don't know. You can see Hood, and sometimes you can see St. Helens. You can, depending, but you're in the trees and stuff. When you're in the hospital, you can really see it really well. I have some pictures that I took. I'm like totally pulling off my eyeliner here. And so I was like, let's. I was like, Mia, let's go walking. You drop your daughter off. Like, oh God, it's gonna be rush hour. Who cares? Like, you're gonna go up to the hill, and you're not rushing anywhere. So you just sit in traffic. Once you get up there, you park and you walk. And as I used to do that. I probably did it like once. I think I did it like a few times. When the last time I did it, I saw a dead or a pigeon get hit by a car or something, and I called the Audubon Society. They're like, we're gonna euthanize it, and I was like, crap, no, you're not. I was like, never mind, it's gone now. It disappeared. I thought it was like hurt, and I was gonna. I actually, I don't think I went. I don't know what I was doing. I pulled over and went to find this bird I was gonna put in a box with a blanket, and I was like, didn't I do this when I was a kid? I'm like, am I just like having deja vu? But then the bird was gone, and I called them. I've called the Audubon more than once. I thought I saw crows hurt crows, and they're like, at this time of year, baby crows are learning to fly, and they're laying in the middle of parking lots looking like they're injured, like they're learning how to fly. I'm like, oh, click. They're like, you know how people, before you actually get the live person or message, they have that kind of disclaimer, and you're like, so a whole bunch of us are calling about these injured crows, which again, I think that it's like if it's a hawk or a falcon or a bald eagle, I think they might give a rat's. But like pigeon, when I went to New York City for the first time, I saw a pigeon and I thought those were the most amazing creatures. And I realized I had mourning doves in my backyard, and I was spoiled because every morning there was mourning doves, and I didn't know it was morning with the U. I was like, yeah, of course they're mourning doves. Every time we open the kitchen window or the picture floor to ceiling window at the house every morning, Mom would open them. The front and the dining room and the living room, or the okay, there was living room, dining room. That house was so big. God, I didn't even think. The living room, there's morning glories, morning doves, and the lake was down a few levels, and they were always out there. This dark brown with the eyes and the spots, not dark brown, but dark gold. And I thought, am I flustered because I hung out with my friend? Am I flustered because I got a couple whiffs of whether I was behind cars or stepped into somebody's walkway and it smelled like pot? It's like when you do that when you deliver pizzas and you're going into a place and it reeks of pot. You're like, oh my god. And it's like, is that what's making me off? It's like, dude, your daughter's car looked like it had freaking pollen all over it. You need to just chill out and just enjoy this weather and this change in your brain because you're meditating, you're releasing stuff, and you're doing yoga. You're back on the bike, and me and my daughter are both stretching. We're both trying to get on the treadmill, and I'm trying to convince her to get rid of her desk and put the Nordic track in her room, which I believe I'm just gonna put it here, and then put the dresser somewhere, put this somewhere. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so I'm like, flustered, but I wasn't late. It wasn't like, oh god, it started 45 minutes ago and I just got in the car and let me walk in 45 minutes late. So like I should like be grateful for that. And I went to a park and there was no parking spots. And I thought to myself, I do just end up parking down there. I said to myself, um, you know, um, this is scary to go into a class. So I'm a member owner of member owner of the co-op. Anyone who's a member is a part owner of this co-op, and you get to do yoga. Um, there's several. There's like 3 morning sessions a week, right? But there's a kaleidoscope yoga. I don't know if I can do that one, and then there's the. I mean, I don't know if I'm like strong enough to do that because that would you do stuff with other people, and then there's the humans of color yoga, which I believe that it was on Sunday. That was today. Oh well, I don't know, or is it Friday? I don't know. I believe it was on. I believe it was on today. I forgot. Oh well, I don't need to do it twice. And I did 2 meetings today though. I can do that another time when I don't have. Like I could do Tuesday, Thursday yoga in the morning and do it afternoon when I don't have a job. And I didn't look at myself. I love the line on Johnny number 5, I'm alive. What is that? That movie with the robot where the one guy says, "I'm standing here beside myself." Love that line. That is my favorite. Short Circuit, the first one. I'm standing here beside myself. And I have a guy I used to work with from Morocco. We were sharing a cart. We went to this job and I had to do this. There's 2 carts in the store and I got there first early, like 10:30, and there's no product in the store or the product was expired. So I was standing there passing out coupons for 2 hours and then 2 more people show up and they're like, there's only 2 carts, and this guy's like, how am I gonna work? I'm like, dude, I'm just passing out coupons. Like, do your ice cream with me. I think that's how I got to know this guy. I go, do the ice cream with me, and I'll just stand on the side and pass out the coupons for, I think it was Cocoa Via, the little chocolate packets that you put in. I think or you can put it in whatever you want, oatmeal, milk, almond milk, whatever. And he would say, "Sir, ma'am, would you like some ice cream?" And he'd say, "Why am I They say, "Oh my God, you get ice cream," and there'd be no. He'd say, "Why am I standing here all alone? I have free ice cream. Why am I standing here alone?" And I loved his enthusiasm in the job. They started getting it scripted later on, where all you could say was hi, hi, hi. One guy finally said, "Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I am." And I was like, they just legalized it here, man. Why do I have to say hi? And I really ate too much protein. I don't know what's going on. I ate like this falafel, and I didn't even save half of it for tomorrow. I had this falafel from the health food store. And then I was like, thinking to myself, like, oh God, it's so heavy. What's in my bag? I was walking across the street. Oh, is there orange actually in there? I don't think it's in here. It smells like oranges. It is the orange peel. I really want an orange right now. I'm overeating. So I'm walking across the street, which I parked over. I could have parked close to the store, but they don't have a parking lot, right? And it's in the east side. And I'm sitting here, like, thinking to myself, you know, you're going into a co-op that you've been a member of for years, and you're scared. Oh, that's a bookmark to my book. Where's my book? You're scared of going into a class and not knowing what you're doing, but you tell a teacher you haven't been there for a while or whatever. And so it's like, dude, like, do you realize that you've met somebody off the internet that you've been hanging out with? Like, is that not scary? No, it's not. Like, my daughter was like, that internet thing freaked her out. It's not about that being the internet. It's about, this is what's freaking heavy, man. It's not about being the internet. It's about being with a man after having been through so many abusive relationships. And having that age, when I met Ben and was going to the bars in Detroit, I was 19 and 20, maybe. I believe I was 19 and 20 when I was doing that. I'm not positive. And that was already having issues with guys. That was already being afraid of men and being walked all over. So before age 20, before or by age 20, I was, these all have to be charged, guys. All of my chargers have to be charged. I don't even think this one has any kind of charge to it. I'm not going to be able to take these with me. I'm just going to go to the library, or I'm going to go to the library and go walking. I don't think they're open right now. Tiger Library. You want them to be open, but the workers need to rest too. It's Sunday. I don't know actually if they're open. So there's one card in this piece of plastic. So I said, dating somebody is freaking scary, man. Like, dude, like, you're tripping. And it's like, dating somebody is scarier than going to yoga class. But it's that whole do it afraid and trust God. And so all weekend, I've been like crying and belly aching. And I'm like, trust God, trust God, trust God. And God's like, everything is okay, man. Like, you are having irrational fears. But all things in God's hands. And I am trying to take back the reins. And I, yesterday, I was working on downtown Lovejoy Safeway store. And the only other time I did Safeway, there was a really clunky old elevator. And she goes, "Oh, all you have to do is open the door. When you get in, close the door because there'd be a gaping hole, and then push the floor up or whatever down, whatever. I think we were going down." And she's like, "I'm like, oh," she goes, "I'll go with you and show you how to do it, but it's gonna be several minutes." And so I'm sitting here like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna wait for her because I'm really scared." And oh God, I forgot my password at work again. I just realized that I forgot my password. So that one's when I go in, I gotta go in early again. I waited for her, and she's like, "It's not really that difficult. You can go by yourself." And I was like, "Well, I haven't used this type of elevator before." And she's like, "Whatever." So I had to set up my stuff anyway, and I just waited. I waited kind of a long time. I just said, "I'm gonna wait," right? And she came and did the elevator, and I go, "Oh yeah, thank you for showing me how to use it. I don't know how to use it. I have a fear of getting stuck in elevators." And she's like, "It's not a big deal." She goes, "I got stuck once. Somebody got me out within like 10 minutes later." I'm thinking a windowless, clunky elevator in a grocery store where my cell phone probably doesn't work. Or I can't bang on the wall and have, there's no speaker intercom. I don't want to be sitting. She goes, "Oh, it's just 10 minutes." Like, could you imagine being stuck in the elevator for 10 minutes? I'm like, I do not want to deal with it. Oh, frozen strawberries. Para Cervere. So that's where I am with that. Yesterday, the guy, and I sure this, I don't think I posted a video. He says, "Oh," I go, "Oh, what about the elevators? Like, you could take the service elevator." I was, and I was like, "Okay." And like, he's like, "It's kind of big and scary." He's like, this machine or this thing isn't that big. You could probably fit in the passenger elevator that's over here." So I was like, "Dear God, I'm going to freaking passenger elevator. I don't care. I'm going to passenger elevator." And so I I was cleaning off my cart, and I said, "Oh, wait, let's go find the product." I couldn't find the product. Trying to find help. Went to customer service. Blah 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 blah. Spent a lot of time doing that, and um, I ended up, all these toothpicks fell out, and I'm kind of bummed about it. I ended up saying, "Should I just go home?" God, I'm so glad I didn't. I would have been restless. I said, "Should I just go home and do 2 hour pay?" No. These are two name brand products, Cheez-Its and Rice Krispie Treats. You're going to be able to find a backup product. And they didn't have a specific backup product. So I said, just go and get the thing. Like, ask if anyone's seen it on a display or anybody's seen it. Nobody's seen it. Food manager just went home, so I missed them. And so I was like, all right, yeah, I did lose my bookmark. Shoot. Yeah, that was my page placement. And there was one called, it was called connective tissue. Just medical terms. I can remember that. That's the one I can remember is medical terms. I just found out the reason my memory's bad. I only memorize stuff in medical terms. I was thinking her chapters, house call, artistic license, doctor in mourning, well connective tissue, medical supplies. Like, I was able to easily memorize connective tissue. So, oh, I finished my project too. I'll show you at the end of the video. Look at all this. Oh, I have 2 of these in there. I have 2 of these in there because I was, ooh, that's slippery. I was looking for this in the bottom of my bag. It's not a good place. Better than on the bottom of the floor somewhere. Coupons. I don't need all this. So I go find a product. I decide to stay the whole 5.5 hours. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll send me home. I'm like, they're not going to send me home. They're not going to send me home. Oh, God, there's a granola bar that's all smushed. This is not good for your bags if you have a bag like mine. I just tell you that right now. So I end up, I should probably keep this just in the car. I don't really need it. I'll keep it in there. Another thing in the bag. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so this is trash. Paper. See, this is what weighs your bags down. Or my bag. All these little bits of paper. It's the work stuff. And I decided to go back to what I was doing, clean off the cup in the cart, which unfortunately one of them was super heavy. I did not want to lift it. And I said, we're going down the freight elevator. So I go to the freight elevator. There's somebody. The thing was, I made a decision. I was willing to go alone. I was willing to go alone. And I'm going to keep this one in the house. I was willing to go alone. And what ended up happening was a lady was pushing some stuff. And she goes, oh, hold on a second. And she moved a bunch of empty carts out. And so it became a little bit redundant. Like, not redundant, but before I knew, I was willing to go by myself. And before I was terrified. And I said, because the guy also said, I go, what do I do to work the elevator? Because before you had to push a bunch of buttons. He goes, no, you just push one. And so I went in, this other lady squeezed in. And they were chit-chatting. I was like, okay, I feel okay. If something happens, they'll know how to get help. And and so at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm going to master that elevator. I went in by myself. And I pushed the button number 2 to go upstairs. Or was I downstairs? To go upstairs. And nothing happened. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm like, oh, shoot. So I pushed door closed. And I'm like, wait, should I have done that? And as soon as I pushed the button, there's a sign on the elevator that says, do not push door open because you'll throw the doors off the tracks. Only do this in emergency. Thank God. I said, that guy told me not to push anything with the button. And I'm standing there for like 30 seconds and nothing's happening. So I pushed the door close button, thinking that I have to do something. Like, you do not need to manually open the door. I was like, oh crap. I'm glad I didn't push that button. I would have to go to the store. People would be like, oh, excuse me, but I think I broke your elevator. And so it was the willingness, it was the potential. Someone's saying, me and this guy got hung out trying to clean something out the Pizza Hut. I told you this. And this other guy comes in like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And for 2 weeks, he was already saying to me, like, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? Like, oh no, what if I leave the oven on? What if I burn the place down? It's like, if you make a mistake and you come back and there's a mistake, so what? But this guy doesn't make mistakes really. He doesn't get these nasty texts at 8 in the morning saying what you did wrong the day before. But it's like, you're human. They didn't train you how to do this stuff. They're trying to tell you have all these tasks that you have to do that you weren't even trained for, and you're feeling scared that you're going to mess up. He's like, just do the work. If something breaks, you tell him you did what you knew how to do, and something happened. Like, and he was just like, stop worrying. Now, everything this guy says, I don't technically fully believe, but I thought, do it afraid and do it instead of backing away, like the job interview. And so that was, this bag is still freaking heavy. Oh my God. It's got a book in there. It's like, it's this thing that's heavy. This part is light. Why is making this so heavy? I don't know. It's a lot of little stuff adding up. Little piece of paper. Change. And I gotta put these, so I gotta put these 3 items back in there. And then water bottles. You got 2 water bottles, a bottle of oil, toothpicks, almonds. This is trash. And ooh, so you end up doing it afraid. It's a willingness. I shared in the meeting something about open-minded honesty and willingness. And so I shared it, or I meant to share it this week. And I thought, I'm willing to go in the elevator, but I injured my right pinky toe during Aikido class, and that was the one time in Aikido that I didn't ask for help from the teacher. So he says, I'm going to show you this move once, and you are advanced. He told the whole class, you guys are advanced enough for me to show you, to demonstrate once with the guy, and then you guys mimic it with the partner. Then you go and do it on the floor. And so, say you do the thing, slam the guy on the ground, put his arm, twist it behind his back, He's like, you got it? I forget what he said. And, because like I remember Dr. Schusterman in chemistry would be like, clear as mud, right? Like, I don't know what kind of jargon that he used. And so I was like, all right, you know. And sometimes me and the partner are like, okay, did you get that? Yeah, one of us, at least one of us would get it. And sometimes we both wouldn't get it. Teacher, like we all end up raising our hand. Teacher, come over here. Sometimes you did the stuff you knew, but it was those harder ones. Sometimes he'd show you twice, but there was a blind lady. She was legally blind. She was the best. Okay, her and the heavyset guy. Those two were the best. Those two were the best. And I was like, when I'm with the blind lady, she has no problem. She could see somehow. I don't know if she had like tunnel vision or what. She could see and get it the first time every single time. She was by far the best. And we would go back downstairs, and then after she got her stuff together, she got her freaking cane with a white cane with a red tip. And I was like, I don't want to be rude. Like, what is it with you? Like, yeah, I am legally blind and this and that, and I'm on a dance team, and she has blonde hair. My hair grows at least an inch a month. Oh my god, she had really short hair. She's like, I just have to get a cut all the time, like every 2 weeks. I'm like, wow. She was on a dance team. I'm like, she is sharp, and her eyes don't work, and she can't drive, and she had to take the bus and walk with a cane. But she was excellent. She was excellent. Oh, I wish I knew that. I wish I knew her, who she was right now, what her name was. Probably in my phone because I've had the same number forever. And so what happened is, um, um, I just thought willingness, open, honest, be bold, be do something afraid. But the one time, teacher, we need help. So we'd had to go from each set of students. Yeah, I was always over here. I like to be on this side of the room, so he'd always start in the far corner. So take his time getting over here and try to look. See someone else has the same question. You're looking over there and be like, "What's like this? Put your hand here. Do this. Do this. What's up? Bam!" You know. But he would show you how to do it. Okay, now you really better learn it. And the one time I said, let's just try it. It was something complicated. And me and the guy both didn't know, and we slammed feet, and my pinky toe got jammed so bad. And I was like, that hurt really bad. I go, that's okay. I'm tough. And I'm here living in transitional homeless housing for homeless people in recovery with 2 kids, eating out of food boxes, poor. I'm tough, you know. I'm not going to stop. I'm a martial artist. I'm not going to stop because of a little pinky toe. I look down, my foot swells, it's turning black. I think this is the one time that I will leave class early. And they're like, yeah, I remember at Portland State, the old gym, they had the locker room and the boys' locker room, the men's locker room, and in the middle there was the sport fitness room with the ice and the trainers. And somehow in there, because I was trying to figure out how to get my son and my daughter to go swimming for family swim, they had in the pool. I never did see that pool. I was trying to figure out how to do family swim, and I was like, they said that my boy would have to go through the locker room and come out the other side and meet me. And I was like, can I just cover his eyes and bring him to, like, we do not allow men in the, like, he's like 6. I was like, I can't have a load in the locker room. So we never went swimming because they said maybe we could find some dude to come and escort your son from one. That's the only way you could get to the pool, which is weird, was through the locker room. There was no other entrance or exit. I never saw that pool. It might have been a really nice pool, too. I was thinking of getting a pass to the community center, one of the punch cards so that I could do classes, swim. What else do you do? Like, say, like fitness classes, swim, and weightlifting. Because I really don't need this equipment. And like, it would be like this stuff that we've had for a while. This one, the bike I rode when I was a teenager. This stuff we had in our house, we're not set up to have a home gym. If I could go out to the gym, to the community center, a couple of times a week and get this clutter out of my house, so I can walk through my house. Um, the truth is, I could sit my butt on this bike anytime, day or night, and not have to leave the house and pay money. Um, but there's sentimental value to this bike. The Nordic track I got on a discount, and then the treadmill, nobody's using it. It actually folds up like this. We should probably fold up to get somewhere. It's not the same as having a house back at home with a big basement with a gym set up down there. It's not the same. Because even I thought that house was messy. The basement is trash, but I thought the house was messy. That house was nothing compared. It had clutter, but it was nothing compared to like the hoarding style we have here. It'd be like the hoarding style is the same, but they had garages, closets, boathouse, yard to put junk in. Oh, basement, a full size finished basement with more closets. They had a lot more storage for junk, and if you clean that out, you go to a neighbor's house and it's all clean. It's like you're coming into a brand new house or vacation rental. So the gist of that was do it afraid. And I thought, you're afraid of a freight elevator because you're going to get stuck in it. You're afraid of the tram because it's high up and you've seen it get stuck. You're scared it's going to fall down. Like, getting stuck is nothing compared if it fell. But it's like, I was afraid of men, and people say it's all in your mind. Your food allergies, your reactions to this and that and the other. And I think to myself, it's not really all in my mind, because I'm such a happy-go-lucky person that I'm just like chill with stuff, but then I get flared up mentally, emotionally. Well, like it's a soldier or PTSD. Here's what I made. It's basically a dish rag for washing dishes. Why? Oh, the lady next to me, I go, what do you make? And she goes, a dishcloth. She goes, you need worsted cotton. She goes, none of that stuff you have in there is cotton. I was like, I'm pretty sure some of this isn't cotton. And she's like, oh. I go, see, this black one's cotton. This took me only like 3 days. The blanket I made the other day took me 2 years, because I think Elvis was have it last Christmas. DJ got his at Christmas before. No, not 2018. I think she was supposed to have hers 2017. Maybe it only took me a year. It took at least a year. Maybe he got his 2017. I don't know if he got it 2016. But I made this. I said, after you watch this witch movie, make this. But I tried to watch it the night before last. Fell asleep to it. So I got this. I put the leather in the car, and I put the beads in the car, in my backpack actually. And I was carrying it to work. I don't know what time it was, but I had this for the meetings this weekend. And this got stuck in my zipper. Yeah, the leather used to be there. So I lost the other leather bracelet or necklace. So this one's a little bit shorter. Basically, I watched the Rich movie the night before last because I fell asleep. But I said my thing was watch the movie, and then it was Good Witch Garden. I went to speakers group, so I made this the first like 15 minutes of the meeting, or the first half hour, 15 minutes, half hour, and then I worked on this for the last half of the meeting. So I'm gonna. The thing is, I'm like, gosh, if it gets moldy, how am I gonna know? I'm like kind of scared. I don't. I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. Maybe I just make it. It's like to give it like if I get it the guinea pigs, it's gonna have to go in the garbage. The rabbit actually might use this as a blanket and not pee on it, but actually he pees on stuff anyway. So I think I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna take this water out and the books. And this thing is freaking heavy though. I'm gonna take the water out and the books, and I'm gonna keep the other water bottle, and I'm gonna go to the place where you can walk, and I'm gonna tie my sweatshirt around my waist and put my green bag in the car. Well, all this stuff is still here. All this stuff is going in the bag. The only reason that I have all this stuff is because I can't carry my small purses because I need my iPad as a GPS. So I should find my GPS. They also use this because I can order medicine for my patients while I'm out and about, like stat, like my kid is sick with this thing. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep this one charged in the house because I do believe that's empty. Just have to be conscious that I don't drain my battery because the other one I'm pretty sure is dead too. I used that yesterday, I believe, and I'm hearing God yesterday tell me, Mia, everything's okay. It's not about you all the time. People don't hang out with you. They have their own life, their own health. They are dealing with their own jobs and their own families. And my friend, I was like, oh, you want to go walking tonight? She's like, yeah. But she was playing with her grandbaby. And grandbaby would go. I said, oh my God. I said, it's way more important for you to play with your grandbaby than it is to hang out with me. And my other buddy was dealing with having stuff to do, and I was chit chatting a little bit. Now I was doing that in the beginning of the video. That's why it's so crazy. And I'm like, oh, should I ask my neighbor to go walking? Should I do this? Should I do that? Like, why don't I don't know if kids have a break this week. Like, why don't you ask your neighbor to um why don't you ask your neighbor to go for a walk tomorrow or the next day when it's gonna be the 70s? If whether his kids are out there old enough now, just go down here and back. And we had talked about a year or two ago, and we had another woman who had some issues, and we were all checking the mail or walking. Say, well, she should come with us too. We had this like plan that we were all going to knock on her door and get out walking, but we never did. So I think I'll call her tonight and ask because I don't. She walks very far. She walks on the main roads. I don't like the noise and stuff. But I'm gonna go out to the park. I don't care if it's crowded. I'm gonna carry my backpack, which is kind of annoying. It's kind of really annoying. Um, I was gonna make a bag out of. Actually, I found another piece of fabric. Let me get it, because I am in a rut talking to you. I don't even want to wear my Doc Martens. I don't want to wear clogs. So I twist my ankle too many times. I have. Oh shoot. I have another piece of. This one. I don't. This one must have just come out of the closet. I have a piece of gray. I'll just show you this one. This is just like a remnant, you know. We always have remnants. We don't do anything with it, and then somebody uses it. Oh, you use that? Like how it's. You could now say we've lived here like 9 years. If you could now say some of this crap we've had in our house has been 10 years. My son's only 17, but over half of his life we've had this stupid crap that's just sitting here. So I think that's what I was going to use to put up on the curtains over here. But there's another fabric that's a little bit. It's like this. It's like this big, and it's wool or wool blend. What I was gonna do is take the iPad and lay it on the piece of fabric. You see, I was gonna lay it on the piece of fabric. I should use this because that window is not that big. And I was just gonna take the fabric, double it, and then fold the iPad over, and basically just sew here, put a strap on it. So, and then have room for the cord, So do you see what I'm saying? Like, actually, And I could use the gray for the windows. I mean, all I need is, I thought that wool was that kind of padded and cushioned compared to a piece of cotton. And then having it doubled over, I was thinking of, I could literally use this and just like, I could literally use this and like, right now, go downstairs and sew this, turn it inside, no, I should turn it inside out. Yeah, turn it inside out, sew it, zigzag it, reinforce the bottom, and throw, like, I could even trim this top off and make that into a strap. And then I have my iPad here, and then I have my purse with my wallet, my pen. So the only thing that I wouldn't really have, which I could actually, you know what you could do? You could sew it like this and leave a circle right here for the water bottle. Or just put a, oh yeah, like the yoga mat, just put an elastic here. That's a good idea. Just put it, we have a ton of elastic. Put elastic here and here, just like the animal's water bottle. The thing about baking stuff and sewing stuff is you can always take it apart. I could take it apart and make a curtain on it. This thing is just a render. It probably cost $1. And this is actually, I actually like this color and this fabric. So I think I'll use this, and then we'll forget about the curtains. And then the only thing is the strap, which I could just basically, literally, cut this fuzzy edge off like this. Sew it inside out. That's a long freaking strap, but it wouldn't be that long because it would be like, it would be able to be this, like, that would be single. So it would be able to hang right at the hip, because that's the kind of thing you could tie a knot in it. So basically then you'd have to have this much space to do a square to accent it, to stick it to the bag. So cut that edge off, and then fold this, and fold it again, and then be able to stick the iPad in there. And then once I sew these edges, this would be inside out, so it would be soft, so you wouldn't clank or bust into the chair. Careful. So that then I would still be carrying a purse and an iPad, and I'd be carrying a water bottle compared to a backpack. But what's making the backpack heavy is not the wallet or the iPad or the cell phone. It's something else. I don't know. I don't know what it is actually. I think it's just all that collection. Because then I have the fake EpiPen. Stop carrying that around. Just deal with it. Most businesses have, and it's expired anyway. That's my plan. Do it afraid. I'm gonna do it afraid. And what would happen if I mess up? Go back to Joanne. Go to the freaking, or go to my own closet and get another piece of remnant out. But I think I'm gonna do that. Sewing machine setup. I would do that, and I will let you know what happens. There's other bags in the house that are thin and big, and this and that and the other. And then this purse, I can put my iPad and my phones in and carry it around, but no water bottle. So we had water bottle holders. So that's the only other thing. I did have the water bottle my daughter's that has a clip on it, and it's a baby bottle, like a little kid bottle. That's another idea. So maybe put elastic on one side, and then put some hook and eye straps or something, a little pocket on the other side. So it's like you could stick you could stick a treat in there, you could stick a water bottle on the outside so it doesn't spill onto your device, and then have the purse. And technically, you could stick the purse in the bag. Anyways, that sounds complicated. This was to do ergonomic, because I was carrying a shoulder bag. It just got bigger and bigger with a purse, and then my shoulders were getting tweaked. But this is not helping. Especially now, going to yoga and talked about going to chiropractor. I was like, you need to step it back and not re-injure the area, because I did enough years carrying a backpack full of $100 when everyone else just had a simple bag with the iPad or the MacBook Pro. Peace, guys.